British Influence on Pakistan by Stephen Draper. England ruled India from 1858 to 1947. This period was called the British Raj, or British rule. The British rule over India had a profound influence on the future India and Pakistan's military, government, and culture. During the British Raj, Indians were not allowed to be officers in the British India Army because of past mutinies. The British didn't want future rebellions to be as organized. Even though the amount of officers were reduced, the Pakistan and Indian armies have similar orders as the British military and are extremely disciplined. In 1947, India was partitioned to India and Pakistan. The British separated the armed forces in India between Pakistan and India. Pakistan received 6 armored units, 8 artillery units, and 8 infantry regiments, while India received 40 armored units, 40 artillery units, and 21 infantry units. Most of the military assets were in India, and the ones in Pakistan were obsolete, and Pakistan only had 1 week of ammunition. Pakistan's first war was for Kashmir, which had a high Muslim population. The leadership of Kashmir couldn't decide whether to join Pakistan or India. The leadership of Kashmir thought it was going to be overthrown, so they petitioned for India's help. Pakistan's army was able to take the northwestern part of Kashmir before they were pushed back by the Indians. Pakistan adopted much of the British style of government. They have an executive, legislative, and judicial branch. In the executive branch, there is the Prime Minister, who is popularly elected. He appoints the cabinet, who have to be members of parliament, and he runs government operations. Pakistan also has a president that is elected by an electoral college. The president appoints governors and chief justices. The legislative branch is known as the Parliament and has an upper house called the Senate and a lower house called the National Assembly. The Prime Minister and the Cabinet are accountable to the Parliament. The judicial branch has a Supreme Court, High Court, District Courts, Anti-Terrorism Courts, and the Sharia Courts. The courts are run very similarly to the British courts. Cricket is probably the favorite sport in Pakistan. This influence comes from the British rule. Pakistan's first game as a country was in October 1952 in Delhi. Their team is known as a strong team, but unpredictable, playing well sometimes and not others. Even though the British rule in Pakistan and India is over, their influence can be seen there today in their politics and in their culture.